In today's episode, showing off my new DIY camera stand. By that I mean my microphone stand that has my phone attached to it by a hair tie, a never before seen medium because I keep recording videos with it that I never use, and the most important question of all, what am I even doing at this point? I feel like I tried too hard to be relatable and I need to scale back, so I bid you welcome, or welcome back. I have a question for you. Do you ever have the feeling that your entire channel is in a cycle of making a video in order to jumpstart video making said video and uploading it, then just waiting for at least a month only to repeat the entire thing? Was I really specific? Well, I'd give you 3 tries to guess why I was so specific, along with asking you not to check my latest uploads for hints. Anyways, I need to be quick before the normies click off this video, so here's what we're going to do today. I've been working on a couple of watercolor paintings that I recorded using a proper camera stand, so not all of my recordings are janky zoomed in pictures that look like they were made with my Sony Ericsson flip phone in 2008, and then I had some issues, so here's a completely unrelated drawing instead, and my thoughts that I just spilled into a document only to read them out later. Also, I'm not editing the living daylight out of this sound recording, so if I sound like I'm halfway dead or I'm not speaking fluently, it's just the way I speak regularly, don't worry about me. Also, this video first was meant to be one picture, then I'm rewriting the script now with multiple in mind, and it doesn't really matter. I just made some stuff and now I'm showing them with a voiceover, so don't worry about that either. This script is a mess. What was I typing here? Okay, I'm not gonna change anything, just listen. Wow, that was such an attitude, right? First of all, this first drawing was literally just based on a random pun I thought about while thinking about some simple ideas I could draw for a video, and I will let you figure out what it is, and I'll tell you in the end if you don't get it. Hint: it doesn't make much sense, and it has X in it. First in a lifetime, I decided to follow my own advice for a change and actually put in some effort into making multiple sketches to figure out what I want this drawing to look like. For those, I used a really cheap sketchbook and these dollar store markers I got so cheap I don't even want to say. They are pretty bad, even brand new. I have to keep them with the tip facing down, or else they will keep drying out. That's the tier of cheapness we're talking about here. What they are good for, on the other hand, is just spilling endless amounts of ink on a paper without experiencing the totally real concern of wasting all the expensive ink on some random sketches that will look like you sneezed over a piece of paper with a marker sticking out of your nose. And they were not that bad, and I even made 2 bigger versions of the hands I wanted to make just to figure out how they will look beforehand, and I pretty much did all of it from imagination, so I was impressed by them that day, and if I looked at them right now I would most likely be holding my forehead with my palm, so I won't. I will just record this and insert it in the recording. Afterwards, I sketched out the final one on a piece of paper, combining and improving upon the individual little pieces. After I had the preparations, I whipped out my Micron markers to ink the entire piece. I know Microns are like the poor people's expensive markers. They are not unusable as the dollar store ones, but they are really not the high-end expensive ones you'll be afraid to touch to some paper, so just write for me. With, the whole anxiety about wasting all the expensive ink that is not even expensive. That's just my brain telling me to stop. Part of why I chose to make something with these 4 markers I have is because I just ordered some new ones before starting this piece, including a pair of cheaper but not dollar store brush pens that I'm really excited to try out, along with replacements for the ones I have for when they run out completely. A little update on this one: since writing the script, I actually have those brush pens and you will see them in the second half of the video. Camera setup topic 3, 2, 1, go. If you've seen some of my older videos, I got myself an actually usable microphone back in early 2024. I think it was January, one where I didn't have to add multiple layers of editing to the recording, so it sounds like an actual voice that is not coming from the other side of a wall, and I got a stand for that mic, and it took me about 1.5 years to figure out the ultimate secret that I can just use that stand as a camera stand if I remove the microphone and attach a camera to it. I know. I'd like to remind you that all this time I was using this as my setup. A little illustration, because I don't have a proper picture of this thing. So here there was a wooden plank that was from a piece of broken floor tiling that was sticking out like this. This phone from up here was lying like face up here, and this was the one that was recording the piece below it. So this was the janky DIY setup that I've been using beforehand. That included a bathroom drawer frame thingy, a piece of broken wooden flooring, and a toolbox as a counterweight. Downside, I couldn't film my work from closer or from any other angles. Upside, it's funny to think about it in retrospect, so I would say that those two even each other out. So I can actually move my phone closer to the paper in order to show a viewable picture. Yay! Took me long enough to even think about this possibility, and I'd like you to make fun of me for it in the comments to boost my video. Thank you so much in advance. I feel like this is a good time to spill some of my heart out for once now that nobody's watching this far, so I'm planning on making a dedicated video about this whole topic. I was actually feeling that I would want to do that during Pride Month, but it's already almost over, so I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen. Here's a sneak peek for now. I recently made the decision to change my name for real. I used to go by Sylvester, now I decided that I want to go by Narcissa, and I will go into details about it next time, but for now, it was really a thing I've been wanting to do, and there were just a lot of things holding me back mentally, but do you know the feeling when... How should I approach this? You don't even have to be queer or anything to relate to this, but do you ever feel that you have something you've been holding back because of whatever reasons, and you're thinking about how you would do them one day, but at one moment they just spill out by themselves like a popping balloon? It was like the first time I ever came out to anyone about being non-binary. It was in a random Discord call, and I don't even know who that person is. I don't remember their name. I'm not even sure what server that was. But once I was just referred to as a man, and I just said I was non-binary, as if it was telling my shoe size or something, as if it was the most simple thing to just tell someone instead of, you know, having like a, how should I say this, like a romantic movie scene of you coming out to someone. I don't know. And I felt the same way about changing my name. I just one day decided to do it, and that was it. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a time, and I was thinking about the name itself, but there was only this one name that I really wanted, so it just ended up happening eventually. Yeah, I don't want to squish that whole topic into this video, so how about some silly stuff? Let's do some silly stuff. Crying people being drawn on a page. I don't know where I was going with this, I just typing words. Literally my favorite thing to draw. Hands down. Black ink combined with a white gel pen to add some shine to the eyeball, add the main reflection to the top and the tiny little dot in the across and bottom corner. That is the light shining on the drop of tear in someone's eye. I just love it, and I will continue to draw them. They are just the best thing to make. I'm not joking here. I just love drawing and painting people who are crying, who are having that burst of emotion I struggled so much to express myself, and I feel like I'm doing it a little bit every time I make one of these. Bloody and wounded people, they are there too, but not the same way, and only as a compliment to the crying ones. I don't like the gore part of gore, if that makes sense. I just like the way they show the emotion and the tragedy turned into something grotesquely beautiful. So what I did with this one is cut the chest out of the character with an X, out of the character. That is certainly a sentence I typed down. I cut the character's chest with an X, multiple wounds, and that idea came from me watching a video of Springtrap, who was just added to the Dead by Daylight as a playable character, who has a fire axe that he throws into people. This script sounds more and more chaotic and in a really neurodivergent coded way. I'm not even sure if that paragraphs makes any sense. I will let you to figure it out. So I wanted to make a character who has a fire axe inside their chest that they are painfully removing. I really wanted the hands to be more relaxed and tired looking, as if they were just holding the axe, so it doesn't look like it's a self-inflicted thing. I feel like it didn't end up like that, which is something I'm happy about. And here comes the punchline. It's an I and a T, the word it, cut into the chest, roughly where the heart is, with an X, an exit wound, as if exit wound from an injury that is really severe, enough to puncture through someone, not just literally in the case of this drawing, as if it was a great pain dealt right into the heart of the person, you know, as grotesque, as random and surreal as it is. Yes, I'm autistic, how did you know? Meanwhile, the character is staring outside of the frame as if looking at the person who caused this injury, not even with anger, just with pain. If this picture is capable of somehow showing the quarter of what I just described there, I'm really glad that I managed to make it. And hopefully by the time you're watching this, I already have my new markers added to the collection, so I can draw more painful drawings with them. So if you feel like you'd like to come with me on that journey, then See you in the next video. And that was originally the end of this video, but I decided to include another picture with some more story time. And this one will actually have some watercolors and the aforementioned brush pens too, so hope you're ready to see if you're still listening. I don't know if you still are. First of all, I started out this picture based on this GIF I found on Pinterest of Dice of Armiga from the movie The Final Girls, but I just used it as a starting point to make something on my own. And also here I'm testing out some new brush pens I got from Pigma, and I will also use a regular Micron marker I got with the same shipment. My biggest fear is how I will run out of ink with these really fast, because they are really good for covering huge areas in black. It's just so lovely to work with them. I will need to look for some replacement ink, the ones you can get in those bottles, and just refill the brush pens until the bristles and the tips are just completely gone. So as I was drawing this, I started just inserting knives into the character, don't take that the wrong way, and I only used black for the start, but then some colors came into view. Also, I was once again, like always, saved by my best companion, the white gel pen. I legit have no idea what I would be doing without it at this point. Smearing a tube of white acrylic paint over my watercolor pieces and painting on top of that, most likely. I don't even know if you can do that actually. Let's Google during the recording. Can you use watercolor to paint on top of acrylics? Okay, so what I'm getting from some responses that you can go on top of it, but acrylic is pretty much plastic and it's not going to be really good for holding the watercolor on top of it. Now that's a thing that I learned today. At this point I should go into storytime number 2 for this video, so this will be shorter. I've been not posting anywhere pretty much at this point for months. I did finish a lot of things, I worked on a lot of things, I just can't get myself to posting them. I've been just making things and deciding to make them into cool videos, then post them so they can bring people to watch the videos, so my channel can grow and more people can see my works. And in all of it, just a bunch of procrastination happens where I just don't post anything and I don't make anything meaningful either, because I'm occupied with procrastination pieces, and then it's just a whole mess. So here's a video for you in case this chaotic and all over the place script will ever see the LED light of my microphone as I'm recording it. It's seeing now. Also, in the case anyone is listening to this, please come to Blue Sky and see my things there. I'm just either so sick of every other place on the internet, or I'm just not present there at all. So if you want to support me in any way, give me a follow there and follow other nice people too. Now this piece is a good example of something changing along the way, and just by adding blue and red colors to the piece. At one point I added these heart monitor lines behind the head of the character, and honestly it would have been better to stop there, because then I painted my fingertips and left prints on the sides and they just looked way too attention stealing and out of place. So I added more of the stuff, more fingers, then started it started looking worse and worse, and I just went all in and I started dropping paint water on the picture and flicking red paint on it, so the whole picture now looks like a bloody mess, but it ended up feeling mostly balanced somehow. And you know, it's just a cool thing to see, something that's hard to replicate digitally, so happy accidents, I guess. I feel like I'm quoting that way too many times for my own good. Also, after I was finished, I noticed it can be seen as a piece about haphophobia, the fear of being touched, which is something I don't entirely have, but one of my original characters has it, and that will be featured once I get to making that chapter of my upcoming comic. Oh no, I'm getting into one more thing. Quickly summarize this video before it's too late, and let's not talk about my upcoming comic today. In the end, I have these two pictures, both featuring hurt and distress. It would be really nice if I had anything nice to say here to accompany them, but I don't have anything right now, so all I can say is happy rest of the Pride month if I manage to upload this thing in June, and don't forget to celebrate not just Pride but all of the 7 so-called sins all year around. There are definitely way too many people who don't want you to do that, so show them a middle finger by having a pleasant moment with your friend, with your loved ones, or just by yourself drawing and painting and, I don't know, 3D modeling for a camera. I was under the impression I was cooking there with this joke. Have fun baking some bread, how about that? So, and making some baked beans and having them with your bread. You also just bake your bread in an upside down crucifix shape. Now it's time to end this video for real, so do your things and make them wholesome, and I'll see you next time, hopefully not a month from now. And Until then, have a nice day, create something even if it involves a random little pun that you somehow turned into a painful and sad piece, or if it's just based on some random little GIF that you wanted to build upon until it becomes something completely different, because I would love to see what you come up with. But most importantly, don't forget to have fun while doing that. Hail Satan and farewell.